Wouldn't you find it just a little odd if you asked a plumber, hey, did you learn how to unclog my toilet? And he responds with, unclog your toilet? Or if you asked an electrician, did you learn how to rewire my light switch? And he says, rewire your light switch? Or if you asked a mechanic, did you learn how to install my alternator? And he says, install your alternator? Or even the guy making your sub sandwich at Subway. Did you learn how to make my sandwich? How to make your sandwich? If any one of these people didn't know how to do what their stated profession implies they can do, they wouldn't have a job. But for some reason, you can ask a police officer,
did you learn the 5 parts of the First Amendment?
And he can reply,
the 5 parts of the First
Yep.
Amendment? I don't know. I don't want to give you false answers.
And then this is the reaction you get from the brain-pickled, indoctrinated masses.
I love these guys. I pray for them every day.
Why? Because we do the right thing?
They do the right thing. They're outgunned, brother. They're outgunned and outflanked.
But those who are awake and know what's going on and know what law enforcement and law enforcers are all about confront them like this.
You dishonor the Constitution every single day. You're supposed to protect my Fourth Amendment to privacy and to be secure in my person's papers, but yet you guys are trained to ask for your ID and subvert my Fourth Amendment. So you don't know the First Amendment, you violate the Second Amendment, you don't know the Third Amendment, you violate the Fourth Amendment.
For some reason, in this world, a plumber, electrician, a mechanic, even the Walmart checkout lady can't get away with not knowing how to do their jobs, but these guys can live for decades and get paid lucrative sums with a major retirements package, not knowing how to safeguard our individual rights. And they live in this ignorance at our expense. And to make matters worse, Leather-Munchers like this guy are perfectly fine with that arrangement.
They do the right thing. I pray for them every day.
Law enforcers like Officer Potter here can get away with years and years of being ignorant about the most basic elements of the supreme law of the land. And the masses view it as no big deal if cops don't know the 5 elements of the First Amendment. You know, the amendments that are supposed to serve as a barrier between freedom and, captivity. This is Fake Mike Real News grilling Officer Potter, badge number 32, on the basics of the Constitution that he's supposed to be protecting and serving.
He gave me a salute. Why would he do that? They're the bike unit. What's so funny?
Good job, huh?
That's what I thought.
They let him go with just a...
I know you won't say that to my face.
Nice job, guys.
What's going on,
They were
brother?
laughing at me, not you.
Why are you so close to me? Why you come up behind me like that?
I was checking on the cops.
But why did you have to do that right behind me, though?
You didn't even know I was standing there.
I know, but why did you decide to do that? It's kind of creepy. Because I know if I did that, you'd be screaming officer safety. So I can come up right behind you and follow you around?
Yeah, you can. I just probably ask you the same questions you're asking me.
Fair enough. But I'd get arrested for officer safety.
No, you can't get arrested for officer safety. That's not a thing.
It's happened many times. Maybe not here.
Arrested. Your charge was officer safety.
Yes. No, not me. Not me personally. Not me personally.
I was checking on the car stop.
Cool.
Yeah, you were videotaping them, so I was
Yeah.
making sure that they were doing the right thing.
Do you remember me?
I don't.
So a
Might
couple.
be help me if
Yeah.
if you
No,
show
I'm
me.
not going to do that. But
All right, whatever.
so about a year or two ago,
Yeah.
I asked you if you knew the 5 parts of the First
At Wells
Amendment.
Ave?
Yes.
I do remember you.
Do you remember Did you learn the 5 parts of the First Amendment?
The 5 parts of the First
Yep.
Amendment? I don't know. I don't want to give you false answers, and then you're going to put me on.
Well, either way, this is a checkup, regardless, right? Whether you give me false or right answers. Well, just a guess, right? I've traveled this entire country.
Yeah.
I've asked thousands of police officers
Yeah.
if they could tell me the First Amendment. What
The
percentage?
freedom of speech, religion.
That's 2. That's 2.
Religion, speech, assembly.
Yep. Okay.
Religion, speech, assembly. Order to the organ. Not the assembly. speech, assembly, gather. Yeah, school me on this?
Yeah, no, honestly, you got 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
No officer in this entire country, I've asked thousands.
I've got 5 out of 5.
Have even got the first art. What do you think that says about the state of police in this country that they
that
don't
we
even
can
know?
Always be better, but that we've progressed quite a bit.
So you think you're good? You're better,
100%.
even though you don't know the first article of your job.
I did. I know the freedom of speech, and you know what? Sometimes you don't know it by word, but you know.
Yeah, but don't you think
in
it's
practicality and action?
Yeah, but don't you think it's important to
I can't
know?
believe you remember me from up there on Apple's Ave.
Your video went pretty viral because you gave me a sneaky middle finger and
No,
and
where's
you
the
did.
video? 'Cause
You
I'd
did.
like to see that.
Yeah, you can check it out. And then
What is your YouTube
that
thing?
other lady cop, she was acting so rude, and that's
what
why
do you-
that's the initial views.
what do you-
guys take a sacred oath before God and your countrymen, and countless American men, women, and children have given blood, sweat, and tears.
Hey, videotape this.
I'm going to.
I'm down here every day. Hey, tell them what you think.
I love these guys. I pray for them every day.
Why? Because we do the right thing.
They do the right thing. They're outgunned, brother. They're outgunned and outflanked.
What if I told you something? What if
shortage
what if
hasn't been seen
what if
in
I told you
100
something?
years.
Respect.
All
Could I tell you
across the
something?
country.
Could I tell you something? What if I told you that according to a 50-year study of police's own data, they only solve 2% of major crimes? What if I told you, according to not 1 but 2 studies, police? I let you talk. I let you talk.
I don't know where the bus. I'm the police. Sorry. Hey, over.
You've always got a drink in your hand. That's one thing I appreciate. You stay hydrated. Some people were saying, yeah, but some people were saying on the last thing you might be a little tipsy. Is it Irish coffee?
No, you want to smell it?
How much have you had to drink today?
Alcohol, of course.
Alcohol, of course.
I haven't drank in 2 days.
Okay. What's your drink?
Scotch.
Scotch. That's fair. I respect that about you, man. This is the only point I'm trying to convey to you, right? Is that you guys take a sacred oath on the backs of people that have died, given bloodshed and tears, so that we could even have a constitution. And the fact that you guys don't even know the Constitution?
No, I think we do. Most cops do know.
Okay. Well, the
They
thing
know
is,
what's right and wrong and how to protect people's rights because they're out here doing it every day. As you can see by this gentleman who's out here every day. I've never seen
Sure.
you down here before.
Yeah.
He's down here every day dealing with us, and he has no problems. He
all
gives
right,
us fist bumps.
true,
and
but
gives us
I'm gonna.
accolades.
That's fine, but he doesn't.
I mean, I'm probably giving you more than I views, and I probably should be.
No,
giving
you're
you
not.
right now,
Like literally, I've confronted Hillary Clinton about Jeffrey Epstein before the
This
news
close.
even knew who Epstein was. I
Hillary
walked right
Clinton?
past Secret Service. I've confronted Biden, Trump, all these fools. Kamala Harris,
Well,
like
I'm
police,
small
police are low level. But it's important. Here's what I'm trying to convey to you. You dishonor the Constitution every single day. Here's how.
Okay.
Remember back in the day with Prohibition, they had to get a constitutional amendment to outlaw alcohol?
Yes.
Right? They never did that with the war on drugs. Every time you arrest somebody for the war on drugs or possession of any narcotic, that's unconstitutional. Same thing with the Second Amendment. Shall not be infringed. You guys, if it's unregistered, unlicensed, if ghost gun, now if it's a stolen gun, that's a different story because that's someone's personal property. But you guys defile the Constitution every single day. And then on top of that, what you do is you're supposed to protect my Fourth Amendment to privacy and to be secure in my person's papers. But yet even people, no matter what, you guys are trained to ask for your ID and subvert my Fourth Amendment. So you don't know the First Amendment, you violate the Second Amendment, you don't know the Third Amendment, you violate the Fourth Amendment, you guys violate the Fifth and Sixth Amendments, right? And then on top of it,
Process too?
yeah, stop and frisk, DUI checkpoints, right? All of it. You guys.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir. I do this every day. You got to preach above me. Maybe you can. Get some
No. The
change.
thing is, this is what I'll leave you on. The thing is, when you raised your hand and took that oath, that was also with the implications that you will protect the Constitution and disobey illegal orders. That's why there's checks and balances. You guys are responsible. Like during when the events of 2020 hit, certain police officers said, no, this is unconstitutional, we're not doing that. And certain departments didn't. Because it's up to you guys not to just blindly follow what the law orders say. They could say, hey, go start catching slaves again. Or, oh, go start having this. It's up to you guys to uphold the Constitution. Your name and badge number, sir?
Potter. It's right here.
I know. I hate when you guys say that. You would never say that to a judge, though. Have the same respect for me as you have the judge.
Ask that because they already have it.
But they still ask it for the record, though.
Yeah, Potter 32.
Thank you very
Same
much,
thing
Potter.
The last one we did.
You can find me on YouTube at Fake Mike MIC
Mike.
Real News. Check me out at Fake Mike Real News. I'm gonna check up on you again.
Let's be honest. The reason cops like this don't know your rights and don't safeguard your rights is because they don't care to know. If they did care to know, they'd know. And if people like him cared about upholding their oath, they'd put down their stupid coffee, pick up a constitution and they'd fulfill their oath. They claim their sole purpose is to protect and serve. But how can they protect your rights when they don't even know your rights? And how can they serve you when they don't even know the basic ground rules of the supreme law of the land and the sacred threshold that they're not allowed to cross? But as people like him stand there and flippantly suck down their caramel macchiatos, they damn sure know the laws that justify them trampling the rights that they don't know that they're supposed to serve and protect. I bet he knows Terry v. Ohio and Pennsylvania versus Mims. I bet he knows that officer safety trumps every one of your unalienable rights. I bet he even wholeheartedly believes I smell marijuana or we got a call gives him the right to make you insecure in your person's houses, papers, and effects. But somehow, even after being confronted in the past, he still doesn't care enough to learn the 5 elements of the First Amendment to the supreme law of the land that it's his job to protect and serve. And why doesn't he know it? Because he doesn't care about your rights. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about your family. He doesn't even care about his own rights. He just cares about collecting a paycheck and doing what he's told. And you're the reason he's blissfully ignorant. You're the reason he's going to continue to be a well-paid order follower. You're the reason he's enjoying that caramel macchiato. And you and I are the reason he's going to continue to create more victims and have a fat retirement. And the only way this is going to change is if we all wake up and stop submitting to authority. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comments section below. If you like these commentary videos, maybe you'll like some of my others. Check out my most popular playlist. I'm sure there's a lot of videos on there that you haven't seen yet. And because of this guy and because of our collective mentality, it's still very much in play because tyranny is still alive and well. So check out those videos. If you want to support this channel for free, just like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to support further, the links are in the description. But more important than anything is know what your rights are and use your rights. Rights are like a muscle. If you don't flex them, if you don't use them, if you don't activate them, you will lose them. And people like this want to take those rights away. Leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you in the next video.